I mean, I can only be open and say to people, I mean, I know within myself that I've trained extremely hard to get here. All the results I get, I know of my own results. The product of determination. It's really been a long battle for me to get to where I am now. I've got the support of a fantastic team. All these things coming together. I mean, but to talk about anything outside of that, I can't talk about that. I don't know about any of that other stuff. I mean, I know what I've done to get here, and I'm extremely proud of what I've done.
Chris, yesterday you were quoted for saying you're honoured of the comparison with Lance Armstrong. How can you be honoured for comparison to a man who lost all his titles due to doping allegations?
Okay, I'm not quite sure if I said I was honoured, or I'd only take it as a compliment because of how he won it, but I wouldn't say I'm honoured. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously Lance won those races, but I mean, that aside, it's to compare me with Lance. I mean, Lance cheated. I'm not cheating. End of story.
We have one microphone here. Can you shout your question loudly, please?
Hello, David Jones from the Daily Mail. So a fantastic performance yesterday. Of course, the back page headlines are all about cricket, and I just wondered whether you felt that the British public were recognising your achievements. That's one question. Whether that's important to you to be recognised by the British public. Do you feel British as well?
100%, I feel British. I don't know what else I'd be, but no, I haven't. I don't actually have time to go and have a look at what the press are writing or how much press there is around what I'm doing. But yeah, I mean, obviously I'm extremely proud of being British, and the messages I'm receiving from the thousands of British fans and British supporters seem to be all positive, and I really appreciate those messages.
Question here, Lau. Thanks.
Yeah, Chris, Jonathan Borrow from the Advertising. You've obviously done a lot of specific training with high cadence and surging. Can you tell us a little about that without giving away your trade secret?
I haven't done any actually specific training of high cadence or anything like that. It must just be the heat of the moment in the race. But yeah, maybe something I should think about factoring into my training.
Question from here, please.
Chris, Ruben Guinness at the Morning Herald. Obviously this week has been challenging for your team. Just wondering, in hindsight, looking back, can you sort of perhaps identify the most challenging moment internally for you and how you managed to bring everybody together again for yesterday's performance?
I think, yeah, I mean, it is hard to identify a specific moment, but I mean, every day when the attacks start out of the gun, we're under pressure. My teammates are under pressure. That's where the emphasis is really on them to control the race and get the race to settle down and get into a rhythm where we can methodically work through the rest of the stage with the resources that we have. But I mean, losing Kirienka after the first week, losing F.L. Bossenhagen a few days later, those are both huge moments for us where we lost a lot of our horsepower, our engine room, and since then it's basically been about managing the resources we do have, managing the guys we do have, and just trying to get through each day the best we can. And I feel the guys have done a fantastic job of that. Everyone just seems to have lifted themselves. They're all giving absolutely everything, all their energy to keeping the yellow jersey. So for me, I just feel it's just fit that I do the same to make sure that I repay the favour.
Okay, question here.
Dave, I understand that you got a little upset yesterday almost immediately after the stage, because almost immediately after the stage people were casting doubt over Chris's performances on Vontu. Can you provide me with your most compelling reason why we should believe not just Chris, but every single member of your team?
I'm not, I'm not sure I did get angry. I don't know. It's quite emotional. I didn't really watch something like that. And from our point of view, regardless of the media from it, but actually doing bike racing and the work that we do in the team and the energy and effort we put into the team, we planned that performance for quite some time. Chris has been out to that, to recce the climb and thought very carefully about how to ride it, how to ride the team. And it's a bit, when you see that performance unraveling in front of you, exactly as we've planned for quite some time, and then Chris showed such a fantastic end to finish it off with, and win the stage. It's quite an emotional thing to watch. And the first thing that crosses my mind is not, to be honest, if I jumped in the air and punched the air for a second, think, right, okay, that's my 5 minutes of joy done. Let's get on to the doping question, which is more important, which seems to be, happens every day. I'm not saying it's not a legitimate question, but if there was a tinge of frustration, I think that's probably why it was there. So to come back to you, you want me to ask, you're asking me how can I prove to you that we're not doping, basically. Is that what you said? Yes. Okay. Well, you're all asking the same questions, obviously, and we rack our brains every day. We see each other in the morning, come to the bus, we see each other at night, after the stage, as we go into the bus, and every day we get asked the same question. And I can assure you we're thinking very, very hard about the optimal way of proving to you guys that we're not doping. So, the latest craze is power data, isn't it? Let's all generate data and have a look at data and compare data and see if we can interpret anything from that to make it significantly or obvious that we're beyond a reasonable doubt that we're doping. But one thing that we keep getting asked is to release that data, which people seem to think that would make a difference to the analysis. But I'm not sure that just releasing it per se is the right thing to do. But I think, we've been thinking about the biological passport and how that works with an appointed expert, a panel of experts, So we then get all the information, all the blood data from everybody. They evaluate that. And of course, the biological passport isn't just a blood value. Theoretically, the biological passport should be a blood value, weight, power. It should be the whole picture of that individual, not just blood values. And if you extrapolate that forward, that thinking forward, then I think we'd be quite happy. We'd actually encourage, maybe WADA to appoint an expert, and they can have everything that we've got. They can come and live with us. They could have all of our information. They could see all of our data. They can have access to every single training file that we've got. They could have access to. They could then compare the training files to the blood data, to weight, all of that type of information they could capture on a consistent basis. And it seems to me that WADA is probably a good body, if it's appointed the right expertise, to be able to sit and analyse all that data. And then on behalf, they then could tell the world and you whether they think this is credible or not. And to me that would be my best answer and my best shot at doing something like that, Why not,
So if...
Sorry, can I...
We're finished it. I'm not being...
Can I take one question?
This is going to be half an hour, isn't it? Because last for the training.
Yep, we've got another 3 minutes. Just one question from Mike here.
Mike Walters, Daily Mirror. Chris, you've won on Axe Twaddleman, you've won on Bond 2. Is it possible, feasible that you could do the Grand Slam and conquer Alpe d'Huez and Sandboz as well?
Yeah, I think those days we're going to have to see how the race unfolds. I'm not going to say that I'm going to target those days to try and win them. We're going to have to see how the race unfolds. Obviously, there are a lot of very eager racers in the peloton left, with a lot still to prove and a lot of winning to do. For us, it's about keeping the yellow jersey and riding in whatever way we can to best defend that yellow jersey. I don't think we're necessarily on a mission to try and win every mountaintop finish, or the yellow jersey has to come first.
Question here, please. I'll finish my answer for the rather than asking us all the time to come up with some creative way to prove that we're innocent, why don't you collect, if you'll ask the same question, if I get asked the same question by 100 people, why not think about it a little bit differently? Why don't you collectively, you're on the same job, collectively, have a meeting, get yourselves together, get yourselves organised, and you tell me what would prove it for you, what could we do to so that you wouldn't have to answer the question? You know what I mean? Could you ask me to come up with some kind of novel idea that's going to satisfy you? Well, instead of asking me, get your heads together, and you come to me and say that this is what we think we would like in order to prove to you beyond reasonable doubt that I'm not going to do anything. You know, I'm going to imagine one. You know, I know what we do, but I'm going to imagine one to come and convince all you guys. So help me out, you know.
Well, I think
That
it's
would require going back 20 years in time. Time machine.
I'm not saying I've got the answer, but I sort of would suggest you get together and have a discussion amongst yourselves. Get organised about it. Why do I have to ask the same answer the same individual question 100 times when actually with a little bit of effort you could all sit there, you could sit, you know, today, this afternoon, you get in here and say, right, okay, we're all facing the same thing, come up with a solution.
To be fair, Dave, the context has changed with yesterday's, more information comes out yesterday with Chris's win on Volume 2, so it's not a case of just asking the question and then going away. You have to be able to evaluate new information and ask questions in the light of that.
I totally agree. I'm not disputing that for 1 second, but I'm saying, instead of saying, Dave, how are you going to prove to us you're not doping, which isn't a greater question to ask, why not think collectively, what would be the best methodology possible to prove beyond reasonable doubt that we and Chris aren't doping? I'm not sure I've got the answer to that, but I think collectively if we thought about it, maybe we could come up with an answer that actually this would be a fantastic way of doing it. And if we could come with that, and we contribute towards that, then we're quite happy to do it. We're not, the bottom line is, it's a rest day, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm trying to defend somebody doing anything wrong. You know, and I'm quite happy to do it. And I'm more than happy to try and find a way to convince you guys that we're not doing anything wrong. There is a little bit of help, I think, in terms of trying to come up with the idea of how the hell we do it. So our idea was that we give all our information to WADA, and they can have absolutely everything that we've got. We've got all the bloods anyway. So you can have power data, blood weight, where we're training, what we're doing, the whole thing. And somebody sits there and pieces it all together and says, well, yes or no. Because that's what I think we get past all the time, so I'm quite happy to do that. What I would like, though, is that the data that they're given would be treated in the same way as the information on bloods. So they obviously get to see everybody's bloods, but they don't release it out into the press. But we trust their opinion. So that might be, something along those lines might be a fruitful avenue for us to, given the situation, given what's happened with Armstrong, given what's happened with athletics, given everything else that's going on, I think just applying old ways of thinking to this situation that we find ourselves isn't going to find us a solution. So I think what we need to do is scratch our heads a little bit and maybe come at it from a different angle, or think of a different or novel way of coming at it. And maybe hasn't been thought of yet, and that might give us some fruitful ground to really move the whole debate, call it what we want, forward. Because we're more willing that. We don't want to spend our time doing this. We'd like to just be sitting here going, here it is, and prove beyond reasonable doubt I'm not doing anything wrong.
Chris, I know you've said that you're happy to answer these questions, but is all of this actually beginning to tarnish for you the whole experience?
I just think it's quite sad that we're sitting here the day after the biggest victory of my life yesterday, quite a historic win, talking about doping. And quite frankly, I mean, my teammates and I, we've slept on volcanoes to get ready for this. We've been away from home for months, training together, just working our asses off to get here. And here I am, basically being accused of being a cheat and a liar, and that's not cool.
Chris.